Bonjour, bonjour. Omelette au fromage. You're in France. The year is 600 AD. You're the only child of a mid-level noble family. Well, technically you're the fifth child, but all your older siblings died before the ripe old age of 9. You know, disease and stuff. What can you do? As such, you never got a chance to do anything exciting, like going outside. And now that you've come of age, your parents want to marry you off as quickly as possible, at least before the common cold gets a chance to yeet you out of existence. So you steel your resolve and decide to run away from home. D-Day arrives. You're ready. You've donned the blackest dress you own and stolen a pair of your father's shoes for good measure. You know, who cares if they're 2 sizes too large? They're better than heels, right? Your parents finally go to bed and you waste no time. Out the window you go. It's been raining and the night air caresses your skin. It smells of freedom. You make a beeline for the nearest tree branch, but you slip. Those damn shoes, bruh. You're scrambling, trying to grab a hold of anything you can as you slide down the roof into the abyss. As you fall off the edge, you manage to grab onto something and stop your fall. Thank God, bro. You're saved. But wait, a drop of blood falls onto your eye. Where's it coming from? Ah, shit. A rusty nail was stuck in your head. It's game over for you.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
From the earliest days of human civilization, wounds have been a constant challenge that heavily affected the quality and length of life of people across the world. From the Stone Age to the modern era, the evolution of wound care tells a story of the strength, smarts, and skill human beings are capable of when faced with a problem. Basic things such as cleaning wounds and the use of herbs were common to most cultures, but you see, back then, even a small cut could sometimes lead to losing an arm, a leg, or even getting scars worthy of a movie film. There isn't a lot of data left about how well these treatments worked, let alone how many people survived. But stories and journals from doctors across the world show us some scary, gross, and even funny things that patients went through back then. So grab a seat and maybe a bath bag and get ready to journey through the bloody, brave, brutal, and straight up crazy history of wound care. Now, before we get into the weird stuff, let's define what a wound is, and just like last time, we're gonna keep it simple, okay? A wound is basically a break, cut, or hole in the epithelial lining of the skin, mucosa, or an organ. You get it? The epithelium is this tough, tightly packed layer of cells that covers and protects the outside of organs and blood vessels, and also lines the insides of many organs. The mucosa, on the other hand, is a thin layer that lines cavities inside the body and covers the surfaces of your organs. You know, that pink stuff on the inside of your mouth? Okay, now with that out of the way, let's get into it. First up, we go to India.
Bloody you, bloody! Bastard bitch! You, fuck you! Bloody fuck you, bloody!
Now, most of us may know India for its spicy cuisine and its interesting approaches to film. But before it became known for this, India was and still is known for its groundbreaking contributions to modern-day medicine through Ayurveda. Ayurveda has an age-old history since the 2nd century BC, and in fact a man named Sushruta, who played a key role in creating the teachings and practices written in many Ayurvedic texts, is widely considered to be the father of surgery. But as with any other ancient civilization, there are some iffy practices involved when treating an injured patient. So, let's say you, an ancient Indian warrior, show up at the battlefield clinic with an arrow wound. Doc sees it, tells you it's not that bad, and asks you to lie down so you can get to work. He rips off your trouser and starts to clean your wound with water to remove all that nastiness. That's done, and he then picks up another container. This is a disinfectant, he says, and begins to pour this golden liquid onto your wound. A familiar smell wafts up into your nose. Wait a minute, this is piss!
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
Yup, the Indians used cow piss as an antiseptic. Cow urine was and still is considered to possess magical properties and is used in India often not just as an antiseptic, but as a method of religious cleansing to this day. Next, we go to China. Before China became famous for kung fu movies and being the world's factory, it was well known for its huge impact on modern healthcare practices through traditional Chinese medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine is a holistic and hella old way of taking care of health that has been used for more than 2,000 years. It's based on the idea of maintaining balance and harmony in the body and with the environment. You know, yin and yang stuff. It includes a wide range of practices ranging all the way from acupuncture to slap therapy. But that's a story for another day. To no one's surprise, traditional Chinese medicine had some rather unique ways of treating different illnesses, and that included wounds. So, time for a scenario. You're a farmer in ancient China, and one evening you're out tending to your rice paddy when you hear shouting in the distance. You look up and the other villagers are panicked and pointing in your direction. You turn around and see something orange moving swiftly towards you. It's a fucking tiger, man. You grab your torch and wave it frantically at the beast, and thankfully, together with the villagers, you manage to scare it away. But it didn't leave you unscathed. It bit off a chunk of your ass, and you also accidentally burned yourself with the torch, so you're gonna need to see a doctor. Doc tells you you'll live, but he needs special ingredients in order to treat you. The first is simple enough. Cockroaches. Yeah, he'll need those to treat your burns. But the second is gonna be a bit tricky. For that bite wound, get this, you're gonna have to hunt down that tiger and skin its nose, bruh.
Oh, man.
Yep,
God,
you heard it right. Pulverized and dried cockroach powder was commonly used to dress burn wounds and still has various applications in China today. No cap. However, as far as tiger nose leather is concerned, that was used to treat superficial wounds such as bites, but since poaching is illegal nowadays, the practice has somewhat died down. Have you ever seen those baby-faced people who look way younger than they actually are? Well, meet Brian Johnson. This Brian Johnson? No, that Brian Johnson. The multimillionaire who's been trying to reverse aging. With over 4 years of meticulous research and millions of dollars invested, Brian, together with a team of over 30 medical professionals, managed to achieve and maintain what may be the best known biomarkers in the world, and in the process, perfected the blueprint protocol. The protocol is packed with scientifically proven ingredients, all backed by over 1,000 clinical trials, with each ingredient dosed at clinical trial levels to guarantee maximum potency and effectiveness. With some of their best-selling products selling at a fraction of the price of competitors, whether you're looking for liver protection, improved heart health, improved brain health, or cell rejuvenation, this formula has you covered. So go to the link in the description to get yours today. Next up, we go to the land of pyramids and tourist traps, Egypt. Now, back when the mummies were alive and aliens were busy building the pyramids, Egyptians too had their own methods and approaches to wound care. This not only included the use of honey and herbs, both common to other African cultures, but also the use of what can only be called sketchy stuff. Now, picture this. You're an alien slave and you've been sent to the river to fetch water by the pharaoh. It's high noon. It's hot as balls and you need to take a piss. But seeing as you're an alien and whatnot, you pee through your fingers. So you have to stick your hand in some bushes to do your business. Because you know, you're not mannerless. So you find some bushes next to the river, whip out your peeing key and get to it. You finish, and as you shake off your wee little finger, a crocodile lunges out the water and grabs your private parts all the way up to your elbow. Nice. It has you in a death roll. You somehow manage to get free, but not without a massive bite wound. Off to the dock you go. You arrive and he immediately applies a dark brown sticky substance on the wound.
What's that?
The pain disappears within moments, but you're starting to feel a little fuzzy. What the hell is going on? It's just some opium, bro. Relax. Amidst your opium-fueled trip, the doc then picks up some brown mush and cakes it on the wound. You ask him what it is and he says it's to ensure the integrity of your spiritual vessel, whatever that means. But with all the flies gathering on it and the foul smell, you decide to press him. His answer leaves you speechless. It's donkey shit.
What? This is doo-doo, baby.
Hell no.
Yeah, even the Egyptians knew that only a crackhead would be cool with getting caked in shit. But turns out they were onto something with the whole opium shtick, as the opioids like morphine used in modern day pain management are actually derived from it. Next, we find ourselves in West Africa.
Went to Africa a week ago. Where that go? Kill that lion, then I kill I go. Kill I go.
Like many other parts of sub-Saharan Africa, the history of traditional medicine is shrouded in mystery, myths, and old wives' tales, most of which have not been well documented. However, there are some commonalities across most communities. So, time for a scenario. You're a boy from Zamunda, and recently, you've been risen up a girl from Wakanda, the rival tribe from across the way.
Real bad man.
But your daddy found out, and he whooped your ass 6 ways to Sunday. That man beat you harder than you'll beat your meat now that you don't have a girlfriend.
You better go somewhere and beat your meat.
Battered and bruised, your mother escorts you to the doctor. He lays you down in the hut, examines you, then turns his back to you and starts pounding a random mixture of herbs in a bowl while muttering some gibberish under his breath. Once done, he turns around and applies a green paste on your wounds, followed by some bandages. Done and dusted, right? Nope. The doc sits you back down and tells your mother that she must now leave so he can cleanse you of the evil spirits you acquired from that Wakandan painting, you know? She heeds his advice and leaves. You're now alone in this dark hut with this man and he's speaking in tongues. What the hell kind of weird shit is he gonna do to you? he's suddenly silent and you hear some rustling near the doorway. Multiple cloaked figures come into the hut. They appear to be women. As they surround you, you notice there's something they all have in common. Yeah, Nyash, Diabs, Bunda, Cakes, all of them big body girl them. A drum beat comes on and they start dancing. With all the beads shaking everywhere around you, you think to yourself, maybe you should get your ass whooped more often. So yes, despite being shrouded in mystery, a lot of communities, just like the Egyptians, mix spiritualism with medicine, and it was common for traditional dances and rituals to be conducted along with medical treatment. Some texts claim that the dances were meant to uplift the mood of the patient and ward off evil spirits. Next up in our journey, we find ourselves in the land of the gladiators and the inspiration for a mid-ass Assassin's Creed game, Greece. Ancient Greece was home to many notable scholars, among whom was Hippocrates, the most famous doctor of all time and the father of Western medicine. He in fact is the man after which the Hippocratic Oath is named. So, big ups Hippocrates, you know. Now, despite being the birthplace of the OG of doctors, Greece still had some strange medical practices. Let me give you an example. It's a warm summer's eve in Athens, and you're an amateur gladiator. You just finished your evening training, and you're limping out of the arena, sore all over. Your trainers did a number on you, and they tell you to go see the doc before heading home. You get to the doctor's room, he looks you over and tells you that you ain't that badly off. You know, a mashed up face and a broken nose is just your average day as a trainee. He takes a woolen rag, dips it in some wine, and dresses some of your wounds. Apparently the rest of the wounds only need an ointment, so he's gonna go get some for you. After waiting for a couple of minutes, you get impatient and decide to take a peek outside. Just as you do, the doc comes out of the neighboring room with a glistening rag, and in the corner of your eye in the distance, you see your hero, the champion gladiator, walking bare-cheeked towards the baths. One day that's gonna be you. The doc wrings the slippery rag into a small bottle and tells you you should apply it 3 times a day to help with the aches and pains. As you head home, you decide to apply some on your black eye. You know, hopefully it should help with the pain and the headache. As you put some on, a familiar smell wafts up into your nose. Is it your broken nose, or does this stuff smell strangely like the locker room laundry basket? As you continue walking, the gears keep turning in your head. Bare-ass champion, doctor. Same room, slippery rag. Ding 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 ding. It's sweat. Yes, despite being home to some of the smartest people in history, the Greeks still believed that the sweat of athletes, the strongest and healthiest of all of them, had magical healing powers. Now, after the Greco-Roman era, wound care, medical practice, and healthcare as a whole saw a sharp decline and regression through the Middle Ages, and it wasn't until the 19th century thereabouts that we began to see significant advancements in the field. Starting from the 20th century, wound care practices have been standardized across the world and can be summarized into 3 basic steps. The first is irrigation, which simply means flushing or rinsing the wound with a solution, typically normal saline, and disinfecting it with an antiseptic, typically povidone iodine. This is done to remove the dirt and debris from the wound and also to make it easier to see the wound. The second is debridement, which refers to the act of removing dead tissues from the wound. The third and final step is closure of the wound, which can be achieved by use of either stitches, staples, or adhesives, or covering it with a bandage and allowing scar tissue to form over the wound. This has been a norm over the past 100 years or so. However, as we go into the 21st century, we can expect to see many new and exciting alternatives that we once thought could only be seen on a sci-fi film. This includes the use of lasers to accelerate healing, hydrogels as possible wound dressings, microneedles and nanobots for medication delivery, and the use of nanoparticles to keep harmful microbes out. Who knows? Maybe in future, if you get clipped at a rally, you won't have to walk around with a brick-sized bandage on your ear. What? Too soon? Can't hear me anyway.
What?
So, as usual, leave your interesting and stupid injury stories in the comment section. And until next time, everyone stay safe and stay alive.